The governor also gave out vehicles to divisional police stations.
29 months after this police station was burnt down by youth protesting during the NSAS protest, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde kept his promise to rebuild the station at Ojo. Inaugurating the rebuilt police station, Governor Seyi Makinde stated that he has received an additional report from the judicial panel set up to look into the incidents of police brutality in the aftermath of the NSAS protest, and assured the people that we act on the report to ensure that everyone who lost loved ones and property get adequate compensation.
Let me pledge to the Nigerian police and other security agencies in Oyo State that we will continue to support you.
This reconstruction gesture will further enhance our in-place security architecture in the state through visibility policing and other confidence-building measures.
Governor Seyi Makinde equally used the occasion to hand over 74 vehicles to divisional police stations across the state. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Earlier in the week, wife of Oyo State Governor Tamino Minini Makinde solicited continued support for the governor so as to consolidate on ensuring more dividends of democracy. This was at her campaign to market men and women ahead of Saturday's 18th March 2023 governorship election. Omokende Igbari reports that Mrs. Makinde, who was in the company of some members of the State Executive Council, took the Ometuntu 2.0 campaign train through Aleshinloye, Oje and Bodija markets.
A rousy welcome by the market women in songs and dance steps took center stage to welcome the First Lady Tamino Minini Makinde at Aleshinloye, where she met with representatives of traders in Ibadan Southwest local government. The women chant various songs praising Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde for his numerous achievements in the last 4 years.
This government is our government, belongs to us. So, and we are ready to abide with them and assist this current election to go on smoothly. In
her remarks, Mrs. Makinde thanked the traders for their prayers and support while she pleaded for the return of her husband as the governor of Oyo State with their votes come 11th of March 2023.
It is easy for women, men, children to access health care with less stress. That is owing to what? He also promised that our children will no longer pay school fee. 3,000 naira levy. Seyi cannot do it by himself. So when you go, do umbrella, 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 umbrella. Because he needs other people to do it with him.
Popular Uje and Bodija markets climaxed her train, where she preached the gospel of Ometuntu 2.0 to the traders. On her entourage were wives of the deputy governor, secretary to the state government, commissioners, and other political stalwarts in Oyo State. In Ibadan, Omokende Igbari, NTA News.
A few commercial banks in Ibadan have begun the issuance of old 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes. Yemisi Ajagun monitored the situation in parts of the metropolis and reports that transactions with old naira notes attract higher purchase price.
In spite of the Supreme Court ruling that the old and the new naira notes should coexist as legal tender until the 31st December 2023, many traders are yet to come to terms with transactions with the old denominations of 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes, as they practically reject it from customers.
Monetary, we went to the bank and the old note was given, but unfortunately these people didn't collect the money back from us. We returned the money back to them. They said they can't collect the money. And again, the society doesn't receive the money from us. So I don't know where we are going to, what are going to do about it.
No, they say we should collect it. Some people will not collect it from us. They will not collect it from us.
Banks are not accepting your own naira.
Yes. they are not accepting it, and they are saying we should collect it. It's not possible. We cannot.
We have now is that when we go to ATM, they give us 1,000 naira note in short. But when we take that to the bank, they don't accept it from us. So that's the problem we have. And we that are working here, when any customer will come now and say we want to use transfer, and when we collect the transfer, go to the bank now, we cannot collect the money back. So most of us we refuse to collect the transfer.
If they ask us to continue spending the money, those that they've collected from us has to be given back to us.
Though only few banks are paying out the notes, our camera lens spotted long queues at some of the banks visited, with ATMs not dispensing. Nigerians are, however, hopeful that there will be speedy implementation of the Supreme Court judgment on the old notes to relieve residents of the hardship being experienced due to the scarcity of Naira notes in circulation. From Ibadan, Yemisi Ajagun, NTA News.
Still on the legal tender, traders are still lamenting while members of the public say there is a need for implementation of the Supreme Court judgment on old Naira notes. Adebola Agbaje moved around to know the situation of things within Oyo town.
A visit to some major markets in Oyo town shows that the old Naira note is still not in circulation, while some said banks are yet to give out the old Naira notes. Commercial drivers on their part said if filling stations are ready to accept the money, they will also collect from passengers.
That old notes from bank, but people don't accept it and attempt to return it back to bank. They said that they should take it to central bank.
The traders are rejecting it. So that's why the major concern is. They said the CBN governor and the president have not addressed the public on the issue of old Naira notes.
Just come every day, no markets. Because of the exchange of the money.
If you are going to get, I go collect, vote for new one, all of them will go collect.
Major markets are yet to come back to life due to low patronage of customers, while they appeal to governments to implement the directive of the Supreme Court. From Oyo, Adebola Agbaje, NTA News.
Following the Supreme Court's ruling that the old Naira notes should coexist with the new notes, a financial expert, Abiodun Ali, in an interview with Yemisi Ajagun, spoke on the issues surrounding the Supreme Court ruling and the possible way out of the difficulties encountered by members of the public.
When the policy was to commence, the CBN did tell us that the policy is targeted at terrorism, and that the volume of money in circulation is too much. As at that particular point in time, they told us that 85% of the money that we have is outside the banking system. Only 15% was within the banking system. And that tells us the reasons why we have inflation in the country. Because too much money is chasing few goods in the country. That's why we have inflation. And that is those are the reasons why that policy was put in place. Again, the issue of kidnapping was also mentioned. That for kidnapping, people that are into kidnapping, what they do basically is that they kidnap a person, they ask for ransom, and those people, when they want to give them the money for the ransom, they give them in cash, and they keep the cash at home. And that is also fueling inflation at the end of the day. Now, the CBN then gave us a deadline. The issue basically is that the deadline they gave us is too short. It was very short. The policy started around December 16th. That was when they printed the first new notes, and they gave us a deadline of January 31st. That period was too short for any meaningful effect. Now, some governors went to court. They went to Supreme Court. They said the Supreme Court should extend the period, and the Supreme Court now came out to say that initially they said we could extend. They gave an order that it should be extended to April. Now they have given another order that it should be extended to 31st of December. I'm also feeling it. The public is feeling it. The economy is on the downward trend because most of the people that are using cash for their businesses, the small-scale enterprises, majority of them are not able to go to their markets. Majority of them are not able to do anything. And when you look at their contribution to the gross domestic product in Nigeria, it's about 75%. These people, that figure has come down because of this new Naira design policy. But the Supreme Court now said they should extend, they gave an order. It wasn't an advice, it was an order that it should be extended to 31st of December. Federal government is not talking, CBN is not talking. What is happening? What is basically happening is that the Supreme Court has overreached itself. They do not have any right to give an extension to the time that money should be in circulation, because there's a difference between banking law and banking practice. Supreme Court is only dealing with the banking law. Banking practice is quite different from banking law. In banking practice, CBN is the one that is in charge of knowing when the money should be in circulation, when money is supposed to be supplied to the economy, when money is supposed to be withdrawn from the economy. Is the function of the CBN. It's not the function of the Supreme Court. And that's why CBN is not obeying the order of the Supreme Court. That's also why the federal government is also not obeying the order of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court does not have any right. They do not have jurisdiction to give an extension of the time that money should be in circulation. They do not have such rights. They do not, because they are not the one controlling the monetary policy in Nigeria. The organization, the organ that is controlling is CBN, and there's CBN Act, which regulates the activities of the CBN. So that is why we have a stalemate. Supreme Court has given an order, highest court in the land has given an order. CBN is not talking, federal government is not talking. Public is in disarray. If you take old notes to the bank, they will collect it from the bank. But occasionally they give you old notes. When you get to the public, you can't spend the money because that order is not firm. That order is not acceptable. To solve the issue, it's for all to come to a round table. What I expected the Supreme Court to do is for them to advise the government and the governor to go to a round table with the CBN and with the federal government to resolve the matter amicably.
A financial expert there, Abiola Ali, talking on the implication of Supreme Court judgment on old Naira notes. We now pause for a break. The Week in Review continues shortly. Do stay with us.
Looking forward to enjoy the virtues of comfort, elegance, and best of hospitality? DSC Hotel might just be perfect for you. Situated in a quiet and charming environment in the exclusive Nta Ibadan, DSC Hotel combines standard hotel services with personal treatment, making it your second home and a mobile office. Enjoy excellent combination of both comfort and affordability with a wide range of rooms: Royal Double, Luxury Double, Charlotte, Business, Terrace, and Royal Suite. For your conference, training, and seminars, our halls are fully equipped with necessary facilities just to meet your needs. Check out our restaurant to enjoy your favorite continental and intercontinental dishes and drinks. DSC Hotel, located at number 3 Reverend Oyebode Crescent, opposite Rotary Club House off NTC Road, Iyaganku, GRA, Ibadan. For inquiries, please contact 0805-513-4875 or 0703-387-0334. DSC Hotel, a peachy hospitality awaits you.
Welcome back. In the course of the week, the postponement of the governorship and House of Assembly elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, was the focus of discussions and a source of concern to many Nigerians. Ifeoluwa Omoshule went around Ibadan metropolis to sample the opinion of residents on the development.
Mixed reactions trailed the postponement of the governorship and House of Assembly elections in Ibadan metropolis.
I feel there's nothing bad about the postponement of the state election for a week, because the INEC chairman gave reasons for that, and that reason is tenable. There's no conspiracy theory about it.
To say the fact is not good, because many people have traveled to their local government or area to do the election. But now what I expect them to do again?
It's not well timed. So already we had thought that, okay, this cash crunch problem will face off after the elections. But now that they have postponed the elections, that means we still have another 1 week of lamenting.
When the elections come, I just want Almighty God to take perfect control and the election to go in peace.
The rescheduling is to enable the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to prepare the beavers for the elections and give adequate time to back up the data stored on it from the presidential and National Assembly elections. Campaigns have therefore been allowed to continue until midnight of Thursday, 16th March 2023, 24 hours before the new date. In Ibadan, Ifeoluwa Omoshule, NTA News.
Senators-elect from the February 25th, 2023 National Assembly election were in the course of the week presented with certificates of return by INEC. Nta Ibadan reports.
Pre-election anxiety gives way to post-election celebration. Returning senators congratulating themselves for a victorious contest, while first-timers admitted with warm handshake by their ranking colleagues. On geopolitical basis, the senators-elect filed past, receiving their certificates of return with great promises.
And to reassure you of better assembly, better legislation, new idea, new bills and law to protect the life and property of our own people, to check the executive arms of government for checks and balances.
The 9th Senate, we try to change the time frame of the budgetary period, and that can only be achieved if there's a harmonious relationship between the executive and the legislative arm.
Infrastructure for the masses. We have some infrastructure for the elites and the areas where everybody sees, but where the bulk of Abuja people live, there's a lot to be done. So those are the things that I'm coming with.
For 2.5 hours that the program lasted, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu was just looking on, no speech from him. Wednesday, 8th of March 2023 is the turn for members-elect of the House of Representatives for their certificates of return. Nta Ibadan, NTA News.
Time for another break. More reports when we return. Don't go away.
Kí ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa o, lọ́kùnrin, lóbìnrin, lọ́mọdé àti lágbà, fún ìṣọ̀kan orílẹ̀-èdè yìí, kò sí arẹ́májà o, torí pé kíni pẹ̀lẹ́ báyìí la fi ń pàmùkù pẹ̀lẹ́. Mo wá ń bẹ̀ yín, ẹ jẹ́ a gbé àwọn ológun wa ìlárugẹ, ọmọ wa ni wọ́n o. Ẹ jẹ́ a pawọ́pọ̀ ká gbé wọn lárugẹ, ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ àfẹ́mọ́, ogun àfẹ́mọ́. Mo wá ń bẹ̀ yín, ẹ jẹ́ ká sowọ́pọ̀ báyìí, ká ṣera wa lóṣùṣù ọwọ̀ fún ìlọsíwájú àti ìṣọ̀kan ìlú wa yìí.
Gbèmádé Hotel and Suites òtítọ́ ní ilé ìtura ọ̀nlẹ̀ yìí, ilé ìtura táwọn ẹgbẹ́ ń wárí fún, pẹ̀lú àwọn yàrá tí ọyẹ́ ń kúrìrì nínú ẹ̀, tó ń ti àwọn ibùsùn tí kì í mú kára ròyìn. Gbogbo ohun tó ń lọ lágbàáyé lẹ́ ó máa rí wò nínú yàrá kọ̀ọ̀kan, bá a pẹ̀lú rẹ́sítọ́ráǹtì wọn. Báwo lẹ̀yin ṣe fẹ́ sí ààyè ìgbọ́kọ̀sí tó tẹ́jú pẹ̀lú ààbò tó péye fún ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ṣayẹyẹ. Gbọ̀ngàn gbàlódé tó gba omi lẹ́ngbẹ́ ènìyàn pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀rọ amúlétutù standby generating set lọ́gọ́tì náà bàbá lọ lówó kalẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ amúnáwá àwọn yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́, tàbí èyí ń dé sílùú nílùú Ìbàdàn. Ilé ìtura yẹn ni kẹ́ ẹ máa lọ. Gbèmádé Hotel and Suites tó kalẹ̀ sí Gbèmádé opposite Leyland, Ìyálóde area, Ìyànà Church, Ìbàdàn, Ọ̀yọ́ State, Nigeria. Gbèmádé Hotel and Suites ìsinmi dára, ó gbọ́dọ̀ lákòókò ìgbádùn.
Welcome back. In the outgoing week, family, friends and colleagues gathered at a valedictory lecture held at the Faculty of Agriculture, University of Ibadan in honor of one of their own, Professor Malachi Akoroda. Lukman Hassan tells us more.
The celebrant, Professor Malachi Akoroda, while delivering his lecture, he noted that he will continue to provide solutions to agriculture to boost the food production in the country.
Every state should have 12 big farmers to be supported by government of that state. When they produce, it will be more than what they can eat.
Family members who describe him as God-fearing noted that he is a disciplinarian and loving father.
I'm very happy because he has touched lives, not only in University of Ibadan, all over the world, and I travel with him all over the world.
Always traveling, but he was one of the people I understood the word delegation from. He knows how to delegate his activities absolutely well. Did he stay with the family 24/7? The answer is no. But did he come up with raising good kids up? The answer is yes.
Friends and colleagues of the celebrant has this to say about him.
Very responsible, very reliable, very dynamic. He has contributed and he has impacted a lot of lives, and that's why we are going to miss him so much.
He is indeed in every area of human endeavor. You will say he is indeed a committed child of God, a man with many parts. I will say he's a man that is articulate.
The valedictory lecture by Professor Malachi Akoroda marks his bowing out of service after attaining the age of 70. Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
Governments at all levels have been urged to place priority on sporting events as a co-curricular activity for pupils and students in primary and secondary schools. The charge was at the second biennial inter-house sports competition of Salam Group of Schools, which was held within the week. Kayode Oladoshu has the details.
It was a fun fair for pupils and students of Salam Group of Schools for witnessing another inter-house sports competition. The four houses, Imam Shafi, Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik and Imam Ahmad Ibn Ambali, fared out to exercise their skills through match past. In a show of skills and talents, the students exhibit their strength in 100-meter race for the senior boys, picking the balls, choreography, and other sporting activities.
Any investment in sports for the children is an investment for their future, for their education, and for the country as a whole.
We are using the opportunity to beg the federal government, state government and local government to organize competitions among these children. And from there we have some medals.
My children partake in the activities and it's very, very exciting, very interesting.
Parents were not left out in the event. Salam Group of Schools is an Islamic co-educational school located at Aba-Afa, Gbagi, off Olorunda Aba Road, Akobo, Ibadan. Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
And that's the much we have for you on the Weekend Review tonight. We do thank you for watching. Do have a good night.